So there's some way that I'm supposed to be doing this. Hang on. Oh, I'm just trying to get it all set up for the window capture. We're okay. Nope. It gets a little bit I'm inept, not necessarily it. I get weirder. It's okay. You didn't find us a royalty-free coffee, did you? Mmm. In the other Brave tab, we've got some no copyright coffee music. Cafe music, that's the word, cafe. Good morning, good morning. Here I am, here we are. Is the music too loud? Let me know. We've got our coffee, we've got our star chart. Ready to go. Hey Pearl, welcome in. We've got our star chart, we got a big day today. We've got the Gemini new moon at 24 degrees. So we'll spend most of the time that we're talking about the stars probably talking about that because that is where I focused most of my notes. Nope, no tarot today. I did bring my book in case we have some bibliomancy kinds of questions again. In which case it is a form of divination, so you are welcome to stay, Ocean, and wait for that. And if the questions are few and far between, I also brought watercolor to work on, so either way, we'll keep ourselves busy today. It is alright. Also, Lilith, congratulations on finding your gemstones again. Alright, let's get settled in. How's everybody doing? How's it going? I know that I personally am sick of things being in Cancer. Fortunately, at least Venus got the heck out of the way recently. Venus is now in Leo. Happy Venus in Leo. That's a very fun placement. We talked about it a little bit before we went on break. We can talk about it a little bit more before we get into the meat of the new moon. Oh yeah, we've got some aspects starting to form, definitely. We already have with this some kind of loosest cheese square here. We've got a minor trine, another minor trine. Yeah, we got some shapes happening. Fortunately, it's not the shape of 7 things in Aries all at once. So, honestly, I feel like if we can get through that, then we can get through pretty much anything. Alright. So, how is life? How's it going? Don't forget to like, subscribe if you need to. This week should be pretty nice. Again, Venus is now in Leo, like I said. So that tends to imply, like, less feeling your feelings and trying to make your home a home and more... Not quite like Gemini, but a little bit. Kind of like go out and have fun, right? In a much flirtier way, right? Like Venus and Gemini was a little bit intellectual, but in Leo, she likes to have fun. Just to recap, since she just went in yesterday, she'll be there until July the 9th. She'll be in Leo. That's pride, passion, and pampering. And like I said last week, just a quick reminder and a refresh. Venus in Leo is the romance stage of a relationship, a little bit of the puppy love, right? And we, quote, feed on attention, acknowledgement, validation, and adoration. So, this is a good window for the next couple of weeks of just more joy and more affection. I will admit things do start to get a little bit weird in July with Mars in particular. You could see here that we've got, coming up in early July, we've got a conjunction of Uranus and Mars that might lead to some shenanigans. But all in all, at least for the next couple of weeks, because the gas pedal is getting hit again in July, whether or not it's for better or for worse. We've got a couple nice, easy weeks to relax before that happens. Be deliberate about that relaxation. Go flirt, go have fun, send the text message you want to send, etc., etc., right? Just go live a little. So I said last week, don't oversell yourself, but it's a good window in general for making a move on someone or something if you need to. You can fess up to something if you need to. You can start a new project. You can do any number of things, especially pertinent to the Leo portion of your chart and any planets that might be in your birth chart in Leo. You are more open to creativity and fun. Gonna be more willing and spontaneous with doting on loved ones and, open to being doted upon. This is a good boost of creativity. Venus and Leo likes to try new things, like to make new things, right? There's gonna be some aspects later in the week that she's gonna be making very strongly towards Neptune, so that's even more creativity. So, high time to start a new project if you are the creative type. Let's see. Good flow of ideas. Take care not to be too much of a diva, right? And be extravagant, but don't lean into the extravagance to the point of detriment, right? Leo's the spotlight of the zodiac, and you can have some really cool people in the spotlight, or you can have some really self-centered people in the spotlight. We want to be the really cool ones, right? So, let's see. Venus, over the last couple of days, squared off with Chiron here. Chiron's at 29 degrees of Aries, making a square especially tightly when Venus was at 29 degrees of Cancer. So that old wound might have resurfaced right before things may now be starting to get better, right? Or it could have felt like a light bulb of, oh, I'm so sad, and then Venus went into Leo and it was like, that was weird, I'm better now, right? Don't diminish your feelings if you had them. Anything that you may have felt during that time is completely valid, right? We're working through the last degree of our Aries Chiron transit. It's a little bit rough right now, I'm sure. At least it is for me. But find an outlet if you needed to. I know that I had a rough day when that square was happening. I just went to bed. And then it's a chance. It is a chance to deal with the have-not sensitivities that you might be having, some relationship sensitivities you might be having, and work on feeling better about them, right? So, she's in Leo now, though, so that square is done. Well, it's not completely done. You can see we're still touching it a little bit, but it's not exact anymore, right? And it's lessening, so as she keeps going, it will get better. What else? So that was yesterday that she stepped in there. What else do I need to talk about? We're still having this magical girl sequence here. We'll be feeling this one for a while. Because Pluto is in retrograde, so he'll keep backing up. Neptune's gonna go back into retrograde sooner or later, and they'll keep backing up. They both move really slowly. So this is just your, like I said, long-term magical girl sequence transformation. Gonna not recognize who you are, but it's also going to be effortless, and it will be good, right? It just might be over the course of a few months instead of immediately, because these two are our slow pokes of the astrology charts. So, tonight, or early in the morning, depending on where you are, this evening if you are out on the West Coast, but if you are, why are you awake? Go back to bed, it's Sunday. But anyway, so this evening, tonight, or early this morning, we will be having our good friends here making a new moon. Let's see, if I go 6 hours first, we should be able to get it close. And I'll do another 3 hours. Maybe that's not too far. We're getting there. Yeah, so. Here we go. Alright. This here bad boy. This bad boy is our new moon in Gemini. Now, what you'll notice is that we have a couple of aspects happening to, one second. Lesser planets. Like, we have an opposition to Lilith, a loose opposition to Lilith. It is not very strong. We have, as he progresses, he will be making a bit of a sextile with this Chiron placement right here, right? And that'll be nice, the Chiron. When does the magical girl era end? I have not looked in particular yet, but I will make a note blood type and I will get you a date sometime soon. I don't see, with these guys slowing up, with as slow as they are, it's gonna be a while, I'm sure. Like, this isn't even exact yet, right? Pluto retrograde is still backing up. We're still at 5 degrees. And then Neptune's in the early minutes of 4 degrees. So we've got a good minute. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. It was good timing for what you said you were going to be starting doing soon. But I will remind me in the Discord if I don't do it after we do our stream, and I will find you a date for when that sextile breaks. But it's really nice, honestly. Especially here with Uranus, like, making this trine to Pluto, and then this sextile to Neptune. This is a really fun magical girl transformation. I like it a lot. Anyway, so where am I and what was I doing? Okay, so we have our new moon. We have it at 24 degrees of Gemini. We are making some small aspects, and we'll be making another small aspect later to Chiron. But otherwise, it is completely, you will notice, untethered, right? So we're not attaching it to any planets. It's not attaching itself to the nodes. Uranus is squaring the nodes right now. So that's been a theme. It peaked, I think, on... When did it peak? I think it was just yesterday. Yesterday or the 12th that it peaked. And it, Uranus is the table flipper. The nodes are the direction to which we are moving in life. So there may have been like some... What is this magical girl era? Pearl, I'm so glad you asked. This here line between Pluto and Neptune. It is a sextile. Let me pull up my notes. We talked about it the last time I was on a couple of weeks ago, but I do have the notes still because it just brings me joy to think about. I love this one a lot. Okay. So, yeah, it's this sextile the short, thick line between Pluto and Neptune. We are also making this sextile to Uranus and a trine between Neptune and Uranus. So this is just big fun change is what this reads as to me. It can be more as a collective, but like on the individual level, it was reading like just magical girl transformation. So this one's going to be slow. We're going to be feeling it for a while. I'm not exactly sure when it ends, but for the foreseeable future, we'll be having this nice little sextile happening. And as a refresher for this one, my notes say, it gives magical girl sequence. You start off as just someone and go through this extremely elaborate costume change, and by the end of it, you look so much different, but still recognizably yourself. It's showing a deeper part of you without all the baggage and the upset that usually comes with change. It's good for intuition, good for finding a creative or spiritual endeavor that will last. So if you're doing some soul searching too, trying to figure out who you are, what you believe in and stuff, this is a really good window of at least several weeks, I imagine, to sit there and really think about it. This is what I called a no-fuss overhaul. It could address something that used to trigger you, especially with Chiron being in the last degree of Aries right here. You could be dropping some masks and just be having deeper and more authentic conversations, or maybe you'll just realize that a recurring anxiety that you've always dealt with just doesn't have the same sway that it used to over you. Again, Chiron at the final degree of Aries. So, the dreams that you have right now may have extra meaning, clarity may come randomly, but since this is such a slow acting transit, it might be less of one single event that just blows everything open and just more things that just build up gradually and just completely reorganize your priorities, right? Quote that I got was, the hidden gifts that you downplayed in the past start asking for real space in your life. My note is that this goes exact. Here you go. Blood type. It's not the end, but this goes exact on July 24th. So we've got a good minute. Hey, Jazzy, welcome in. Good to have you. We're just going over the astrology for the week. I was just going over the sextile that we're going to be feeling for the foreseeable future for next at least month and a half. And now we are about to start talking about this new moon. Welcome, welcome, Virgo rising. Good to have you. If you have also anything else happening, this new moon does hit the mutables the most. You're very welcome, blood type. And again, like I said, we'll talk about it probably. I'll remind people again when it goes exact in July, that sextile. I'll just see what the stars are doing around then and see how it goes too. So we have our dear friend, this new moon. Well, dear friends, it's 2 planets, right? Our luminaries are at 24 degrees. This is the last decan, the last 10 degrees of Gemini. So all of our mutables will be feeling it the most, right? But especially if you have any major placements in the last 10 degrees of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces. So, my other astrology buffs, because this is applying to my own chart, and I cannot quite, it's like trying to read tarot for yourself. I can't quite put 2 and 2 together. This new moon is on my Mars, in my first house. Does anybody have any ideas? If we are thinking emotional volatility, Mercury has already been doing that in Cancer. Yes, and this is the quiet. Things pick back up again in July, so this is kind of the rest before we start picking back up again. There is 1 week in particular, I want to say the 3rd week of July, where, I need to start working on those notes about the Friday before to make sure I get the time. I have to mute the stream since there's a lot of people, but I'm here to give support and likes. Thank you, Duck. You'll get the notes on the Discord, so you will have it. Alright, so. Anyway, for all of my other astrology buffs, I ask you, what is this going to do? I will let you know after the fact, too, what it has done, but I am also just worried that I'm going to be an extra mess of a crybaby because Mercury in Cancer is doing things to me, and he hasn't even gone retrograde yet. Anyway, we'll figure it out. So, this is going to be a particular hit for the mutables with something in the last decan of their signs, the last 10 degrees. Is Mercury retrograde coming up in July? Yes. So right now we are in our pre-shadow phase where Mercury is going over the path that he will backtrack. That started, I think it was just yesterday that he started that. So right now he's going over where he will backtrack, and we will start that retrograde. We will start that retrograde. I have it written down. It starts on June 29th. And it'll be about 3 weeks usually. So, our boy goes retrograde on June 29th. If I just spontaneously combust into tears, that might be why. Anyway. New moon. This one's fun. I like it a lot. All of us... Oh. And I forgot to mention, so... Mutables feeling it the most. And also Cancer, in particular, since both Gemini and Sagittarius' rulers are in Cancer, right? We have... Oh, and the traditional ruler of Pisces, and the traditional, Virgo's co-owner, right? So, Cancer also just kind of gets to feel all of this, too. Sun, Sag, Virgo, Rising, Gemini, Moon, Venus, Scorpio, Jupiter, Libra. Yeah, yep, Yep. Hi, fellow mutable. Hi, honey. You are a triple mutable in the big three. Wow. So, get ready for a reset. Besides asteroids and such, like I noticed, we have Black Moon Lilith. Then they will be squaring off. Nope. Sextiling? They will be sextiling Chiron towards the end, after they kind of start to separate. It is untethered. It is not attached to any major planet. Sorry, Sin. So, with that being untethered, he is unaspected. He is not touching anything. We have Uranus squaring the nodes. This is a make of it what you will kind of thing. Gemini is duality, right? It is they are the twins. One does one thing, one does the other. You have the bright, bubbly Gemini stereotype, and then you have the gloomy, doomy, but funnier than hell kind of Gemini stereotype, right? Like, you've got the twins. So, with this duality, you have two paths that you can choose. This is your chance to pick, lest the path be picked for you, right? Obviously, we want to work on bettering ourselves, right? Or we weren't here. It wasn't that bad before you mentioned Cancer. I'm sorry, son. I have nothing in Cancer, so all of these transits are killing me too. So, just differently. But, yeah, we will survive. We have made it this far. Honestly, this new moon feels fun. So, don't worry. This is also the last new moon in Gemini for almost a decade. And, what is it? It is a super new moon. So even though we will not be able to see her, she will be about as close to us as she can get. So this one's pretty big. So the idea overall, before we really get into it, the idea overall for this new moon seems to be like the oh, thank you, Duck. Yeah, 10 likes. This is the quiet stream. The overall idea for this one is like, everybody, well, maybe me, maybe it's just me, I don't know. Honestly, with Jazzy Bella's top 3 mutables, she probably has this notebook too. The notebook of unfinished thoughts, where it's just like one half-finished sentence and then another half-finished sentence and then a half-finished paragraph, and they're all related. Or they're all not related, they're just completely different ideas, right? It is that notebook of half-finished thoughts, and you pick one. After you open it up, you look at it, you pick one, and you pull that thread. And you just keep going. You ask a question, and then you ask yourself a follow-up, then you ask yourself another follow-up. And so this new moon is, like, deliberately asking you to be that obnoxious 2-year-old that keeps going, why? 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 Right? And to me, that sounds like fun. I don't know. Just the chance to be an obnoxious 2-year-old. Let's go. So that is like your overall, right? Like we're going why, we're asking, we're exactly. Lils gets it. Why? Why do I believe this? Why do I think this? Did I get this from myself or did I get it from somebody else? Why is this way? Why can't it be that way? Can't I do it that way? Just really sit there and like interrogate yourself about it, right? Not in a bad way. Gemini's fun. Gemini likes it lighthearted. This is nothing like to sit there and like really just like soul-crushingly contemplate, but like it's a good like just thought experiment, and maybe with that thought experiment you can have a revelation and figure out how you want to proceed, right? So I said this new moon is not really aspecting too much. We have that, not very heavy opposition to Lilith, which is a bit of rebellion. So you might feel a little bit rebellious, but it is definitely fading out. It is, or rephrase, it will be, the moon as she proceeds will sextile Chiron, and then as the sun steps out of Gemini and rolls into Cancer, he too will be sextiling Chiron. Right? It's not exact yet, but it's starting to be there. It will continue to be there. And with as quickly as the moon moves, she will aspect Chiron exactly pretty soon after this exact lineup. So this is a final push. Chiron is at the last few minutes of being at 29 degrees of Aries. I think he's there for Someone can fact check me, but I think it's for like 8 years. He doesn't go too fast. But anyway, we've been working on something for at least several years in the Aries part of our chart, and this is the last push. This is the last realization. Chiron being there, it's calling for a break in whatever pattern. It's calling for the, like the breaking the habit that leads to that wound, right? With the sun and the moon making this sextile, there could be a shift in the perspective that helps you realize, again, why things have been happening the way that they are. And with that clarity, you can pick the, less comfortable but better option for you, right? You can recognize it's for the best. It's a little bit like breaking a bad habit. If you just try to break the bad habit because you consciously know that it's bad for you, but nothing else, it's not really, it's very, very hard, right? But if you deeply understand A, that it's bad for you, and also B, that you're sick of it, that habit gets a lot easier to break, right? It's not saying that you won't still have challenges. It's not saying that you won't still have moments of oh, I really want to do whatever this bad habit was again. But then that that's not good for you. You know that you were done with it, right? And you know that there was a reason. So it's kind of giving me that when I look at it. I saw something. This is a little bit of a summary of a quote that I saw. It says about this in particular. It says, these days we may feel on the brink of breaking a very familiar pattern that comes back at full force one last time, just to allow us to finally choose differently and stay present in the discomfort instead of relying on the familiar to soothe it. So, with the luminaries crossing over Chiron right now, especially right here, the choice might be the hard one, but it could come to you easy. It might still be a challenge, but it was easy to decide to stick to it, right? And you should be able to recognize and also hopefully kind of celebrate the fact that you are able to choose this now and how far you've come in whatever the wound around that Aries part of your chart that you've been working on for the last several years, right? So that one was really pretty. It's a little bit of a closure, right? If you ask why, maybe if you keep digging down deep enough, you'll figure out the why, and that makes whatever this is that much easier. Right. So with this too, the sky is also making just some shapes in general. Just some shapes. It's not conjunct anymore, but we're still in a very loose conjunction here with the Jupiter and the Venus that happened a couple of weeks ago. Or last week? It went exact on the 9th. And I noticed, and we can talk about that more later, but I noticed with that one that for me in particular, it felt more like getting closure on a couple of things that I really needed closure on, but also, not luck in the way that I expected it to be. You win some, you lose some. But no, I got some news that I needed. But yeah, anyway. Mercury, we talked about it last time we were here, squared off with Saturn. You can still see it kind of loosely happening, but it was stronger a couple of days ago. I think it went on Wednesday. So there might be something from back there earlier in the week, somewhere around that window that you might still be reeling from a little bit. I know I have had a weird week. Mercury in Cancer now is about to sextile. You can kind of see this one forming. Sextile Mars over here in Taurus. With any kind of mess that you might be having with, Mercury squaring off with Saturn, I'm hoping that Mars will give, Mercury the ambition and the drive to actually do something about whatever that mess was. It should at least help us feel braver about, things regarding our communications and expressing what we need. There should be some room to say what you think and, be willing to take thoughtful action towards those things that you think and know that you need. And then, like I said earlier, we still have Uranus squaring off with the nodes. It's not exact anymore yet. I thought it went exact a couple of days ago. I don't remember. But anyway, so it's squaring off. And this is a bit of an upheaval that's been going on for a while now because none of these people move very quickly. It's pertinent to things like plans, perceptions, and goals. Hi, Willie. Welcome, welcome. Along with our new moon, our girl Venus right here. She busy. We got a busy dear. Our girl Venus. Still feeling that little conjunct. We've got the sextile happening here. We've got an opposition to Pluto. We've got a sextile to Neptune. We've got, this square that we just had that's easing up in Chiron. Like she's a busy woman. So she just moved into Leo. It's much more playful for her there than it is in Cancer. She didn't mind being in Cancer, but it's a very sentimental kind of place. Venus in Leo is a lot more fun, a lot more lighthearted. She just finished that square that we were talking about. It might cause that one last cry about whatever that problem spot was, and then you looked up and you realized you were done. She's got a couple other placements coming up that I just mentioned. It'll be exact later on in the week, so we'll talk about that then, but you'll be feeling it, this evening, tonight, tomorrow. But all in all, with her in a fire sign and in the sun's home turf especially, she should be really helpful at getting this new moon manifestation that you make really come up off the ground. Right. So in Discord, I'm going to give a link to another guy's YouTube that I like. He gave a good 15-minute debrief on this new moon too. But for us here, for notes really quickly, a quick summary that he said was that the degree at which this is at specifically is literally represented by the Ten of Swords. Also, I found out apparently in there that the old name for the Ten of Swords is the Lord of Ruin, which is just, that's my new band name. Anyway. What a name. But anyway, the Ten of Swords is, you've been going through it, haven't you, buddy? And it can't get any worse. So there's a lot of pain, but if you look at the card, he pointed out, you can see the light starting to break through the clouds on the horizon. So, the way that he's interpreting this moon, and the way that I really liked how he interpreted this moon, was it's less about the manifestation, though there is a lot of that going on, and more about pulling out the swords that you didn't put into your own back, and then setting those down, instead of stabbing them into someone else. Right? So, these are like the swords that were given to you or carried on for generations. So this is like, the expectations that somebody set upon you. This is the thing that somebody said to you that really hurt your feelings that you still think about 15 years later. These swords that aren't yours. The call for the manifesting. You pull these swords out that aren't yours, that you didn't put there. You look at them, you think about them, you go, I don't need these. You set them down. You don't stab them into somebody else. They're not anybody else's problem. It's time to retire these swords, right? And the manifestation call is to plant something new where those swords used to be. This is where you manifest. You look at the swords, you're examining these swords. This is where you're going, why? Like the 2-year-old, why do I have this? Do I really need it? Who gave it to me? Why did they give it to me? Where did they get it from? How did they make the sword in the first place? Why did they make the sword in the first place, right? You're really like sitting there and looking at the sword and examining it. And if it doesn't make the cut, you put it down. If it doesn't make the cut, get it? It's a sword. Oops. 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 Oh well. Anyway, so yes, the call after you put the sword down is to plant something there in its stead, right? You can, manifest your own personal peace and clarity, just something in place of those swords so that you can work on what you can do with your own sphere of influence, rather than just adding to the noise that is already around us all the time, intentionally or otherwise. Lord of Ruin should be a status right under Do Not Disturb. Sin, it would be my permanent status if that existed. So, overall, what we're trying to do after we pull out the swords is set intentions connected to those, specifically the Gemini immutable parts of your birth chart. Mercury and Gemini, you know, both love all things communication and speaking up and speaking your truth and learning and going on adventures, just going outside, just breaking the habit, going into a neighborhood that you've never been to, trying a new restaurant, just having a little bit of fun with it, right? We want to look for flexibility. We want to follow what interests you. You want to pull that thread on that unfinished thought or several. You want to pull out the thoughts that other people have imposed on you and instead choose to put a new, more intentional idea of your own there to grow. We're trying to, you know, evolve deliberately and not evolve out of reaction, right? So that is this new moon, and like I said, this is kind of a bit of a finish since it's in the last decan and we have that, you know, Lord of Ruin title and everything, right? It's a bit of a finish, but you can't really start something new normally unless you finish something first. Unless you're a Gemini major placement, in which case you're always starting something new. But since you never finish anything, none of them ever get finished. So we're trying to finish whatever it is, right? Trying to let it go, trying to move on, trying to be better. So I thought it was really pretty, especially since it's, you know, a super new moon. It's the last new moon in Gemini for a while. This really does feel like a culmination of something, right? So we have that. Any questions? It's kind of a big one. Taking questions. Woolybug, what's that face about? What we got going on? Going once, going twice. I know there's a bit of a lag. Let's see. Give it just a second. And if I don't get anything, I'll keep going. Okay. We can come back to it if we need to. So, good luck to all the Lords of Ruin out there. Yeah. We got this. Apparently my Mars is a Lord of Ruin. Like, not even just joking, like, just that is where my Mars is sitting at. When you said Gemini's plan but don't move to fruition, I was searching for cathedral-related stuff. Willie, it's like I said, I plan all the time. I have all of these lofty ideas, and I know I'm never gonna go after any of them. So, and that's you get all. What is your Mars? My Mars is at 24 degrees of Gemini in my first house. So, it is right the heck here. So I've been trying to, it's been trying to figure this one out. It was like okay, we're gonna go on a bit of a tangent. So it's like a bit like the full moon that we just had in, wherever the heck it was. Where was that last full moon? Was it in Sagittarius? Was it in Capricorn? Where's that dang full moon? Hang on. I'm gonna find that new moon. Or full moon. Hang on. Hold tight. Sagittarius. Yeah. So that last full moon was at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, and if I tell you this, you can probably figure out roughly my birthday, but my sun, excuse me, the full moon was at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. My sun is at 9 degrees Virgo. So I was still trying to figure out how that applied to me. And it's a bit like I said, it's a bit like trying to read your own tarot cards. I'm like, I don't know what this means. I could probably tell you for other people, but like for me, I'm like, I don't know. So that full moon hit me directly, and this new moon is hitting me directly. So, yeah. For any of my other fellow armchair astrologers, I would love to hear your opinion. I know that blood type suggested that I might be, more emotionally volatile than usual, but I have been since Mercury has been in Cancer. I'm like, can I not, please? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm figuring it out. As an Aquarian, I just like how unusual the cathedral commune would be. I mean, it would be beautiful. It would be beautiful. Everybody pick your favorite station of the cross, and that'll be where your apartment gets built. Sparkle maxing. Duck knows what's up. Okay. So. Yeah, so for all of my armchair astrologers, I'm asking for your help in these troubling... I'm once again asking for your help. Or whatever it is that meme is. Anyway. I long for housing stability. Ain't that the truth, May? Oh my god, I would love housing stability. What a dream. Anyway. So we're still on the 15th. Venus is going to keep scooting on forward, and then she will hit 2 degrees of Leo and promptly form a sextile to Uranus. This is also part of why I like this new moon, because a lot of fun things just kind of start happening. We still have our magical girl action happening up here that we're starting to feel. It's still forming. And then we have this this sextile coming up that if we tap into, it's just a good time. This one's going to be quick, because Venus scoots pretty quickly, but it'll be a couple of days that we feel it. It's a little bit flirty. It's a little bit bold. You want to do something small, but feel free to be a little bit impulsive. Don't obviously, like, wreck anything, but like, just have a little fun with it. If there's a message that you've been wanting to send to somebody, send it. Listen out for fun or surprising news. This is just kind of good timing in general, maybe a little bit lucky. You might meet someone fun and new, platonic, romantic, just something. You might just meet somebody that you pass, that you just a stranger that you just have a really fun, enlightening conversation with, and you never meet them again, right? It could be anything like that. What we want to do around this little window is do something creative. We're still feeling pretty crafty. Meet up with your friends, just kind of live a little. If you want to shake something up and try something new, you go for it. It could be a new hairstyle. You could look at that part of town that you haven't seen before, like I was talking about earlier. Just go try a new restaurant. Go to a movie if you haven't been there in a while. Things like that. But with this one, we want to keep it easy. This isn't necessarily like looking for commitment, right? We're not in that kind of transit. Venus isn't in Cancer anymore. We're not, expecting the world out of everybody. But this is kind of take the time to let yourself kind of color out of the lines, let your hair down, go out, however, just having a little bit of fun looks to you, right? Be true to yourself. Remember to stop and breathe. Just kind of let yourself have that good time. Again, however it looks to you. We want to start a new creative project and just kind of have fun. Oh, thank you, Partless. I did the watercolor for it, and Miss May, who is the normal person in this chat, or on this channel, I'm usually just the resident mod. But anyway, she animated it. If you're interested in more of her work, she has a sub-channel for her art that is Lady Lapine Art. So feel free to join us anytime. And then if you're interested in my art, I can link in my Instagram account. So that is the 15th. Let's see. Oh, that's 3 hours. Oops. I want to keep it. Let's do a day. We can do a whole day. Here we go. All right. Thank you very much. I do watercolor for fun. In my free time. So, on the 16th, we're still feeling this sextile. We're starting to feel this trine. It's not exact just yet, but it is getting more and more impactful. We've got Pluto still playing in this space. This is part of the magical girl. This is get your hair cut, right? This is, go do something nice. This is change it up a little bit. Let's see. On the 17th, though, is when this goes exact. This trine. Oh, you mean the VTuber? I thought you meant the opening thing. Yeah. it's a real doll, and Lady Lapine here animated it for us. So her normal one on here is either a drawing that she animated that is 2D, or she also has a doll that is representative of herself. So feel free to come by and hang out. She does tarot on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you can see the rabbit doll then. So come hang out. We'd love to see you. And then you'll find me in chat on those days. Alright. So, we're working on that. We are forming it. It goes exact on the 17th. This trine, as well as this opposition. So, hey Doji. We have here, the trine will be about 2-3 days that we'll be feeling it. It's good for poetry. It's a very poetic kind of feeling. It's good for dates, communication, reconnection with people that you might have lost, friendship, even just like social interactions at work, right? It's just good. It's just good for peopling. It's good for interacting. It's very dreamy. If you need to say something, as long as you take a second to pick those kinder words that we talked about, like choose your words wisely, but like if you take a second, figure out what you need to say, choose the kind way to say it and everything. If you say it, it should land pretty well. It should be pretty well received. And this works both ways. You can say something if you need to. Someone else might say something if they need to. And they should be able to say it in such a way that you really, hear them and understand what it is they need. So, it's a good placement for authenticity and supportiveness in your community, and it really helps kind of balance out this opposition that we're about to talk about. This trine here is good for creativity, it's good for dreaming big, it's good for meditation. You can do something to make you or someone else feel good, which can just even be as small as giving someone a compliment. Hey, I like your shoes, right? Like, just even that can make somebody stay, right? This is a really good window to do something like that. As with most things Neptunian, you need to watch out for the rose-colored glasses and illusions. And, as with most things Venusian, we want to watch our budget and how much you promise. You could be feeling very optimistic, and you can bite off more than you can chew. A popular Vedic astrologer said Wednesday the 17th is the best day of the month. Not sure why it's better than the 9th, but definitely good vibes. Yeah, it's got good vibes so far. Now, this opposition, we don't want to let either one of these drive us too hard, right? Like, if this one goes too far, we can bite off more than we can chew. If we let this opposition, take control, then we can be, it can be a little bit, you can be a little cruel, right? What we want to do is find the balance. Now, this should be pretty easy to find said balance with a little bit of deliberation. But be aware that, that this opposition is happening. These are happening at the same time, so this one will be 2-3 days around here too. We want to pay attention to power dynamics and watch out for power plays. You can have really big moments of attraction to somebody else. It can be magnetic. It can be, it can hit you like a truck right now, right? However, the shadow side to it is obsession, jealousy, possessiveness, things like that. We want to, again, watch out for that Neptunian illusory influence that I talked about. It could make things worse. If it is, if it is you trying to do the power play to test a loved one, like seeing if they, trying to, give them a cold shoulder and seeing if they, come after you, or just, trying to test the relationship somehow. Don't do that. Number one, that's just bad. Don't do that in general. Don't be that guy. But number two, what you want to do, what this opposition is trying to unlock out of you, is to say what you need to say. And you have a good window to form what you need to say very well to have it, very well received, right? Say what you need to say it kindly, and you should have what you actually need, right? So, if it is you trying to do that power play to test someone, if it is you with the urge to snoop around in someone's drawers to find their journal or something, stop. What we want to do is to remember to be direct, and just ask for what you truly need. If you need the reassurance, you can say, hey, I'm not feeling great right now. I'd really appreciate it if, or if you need help, you could say, hey, something, I need help with this. Do you think you can help me? You know, like just something, right? Or, hey, I haven't been feeling good. Can we just talk about it? Right? Just be honest, be open. At this channel, we're really big advocates for communication anyway, right? So, like, just be deliberate about it. Choose your words, and everything should be fine. Remember, the other person most likely cannot read your mind. I don't expect telepathy to be a huge, you know, skill that just everyday people have, right? Don't expect them to be able to read your mind. You have to speak up. Because even if the person would want to reassure you or help you however it would be, they can't do that if they don't know that something is wrong, right? It's something that, you know, I've had struggles with historically of, I need you to tell me what you need. I can't read your mind, right? Like, speak up. Yeah, we don't want the insecurity. We have to put our, you know, big brave pants on. We need to put your big brave pants on and go do the thing. And if you do, you have this trine and the sextile. If you do that, you will change it for the good, and it should be, honestly, fairly easy to get it well received, right? Whatever it is. Now with this opposition, we still want to be aware of those power plays, because that is relationships. But what else does Venus control? We have pleasure and money and things of that nature. So if someone tries to come in and steamroll you or tell you that something needs to be kept a secret or is urgent and secret, or if you do the same thing and try to push someone into something, Pluto reveals, it will show up later. And also, just in general, that could be Pluto being too pushy, being too shadowy. And that is your warning, you know, to step back and be like, is it really this important? Is it really this intense? Do I really need to keep it secret? If I keep it secret, what happens? Right? Versus, if I speak up and I actually say what I need, will it really be that bad? So, be intense. Like, this is intense. This is good for, you know, voicing those intense thoughts. Like, it's okay to be intense here for a few days, but use that intensity for good. Be honest, be vulnerable, try to find where there's consent, try to get to understanding each other, and also, you know, make sure you understand and that everyone else understands any terms and conditions of something, like, be it, you know, like personal boundaries, be it actual paperwork, anything like that. Mind your boundaries, keep your standards, it will be okay. Alright. So, we have that happening. And then the next one that I really didn't have time to write about this morning because, oops. We have, oh, that's sweet. It's one last little let go. We've got this little pretty trine happening with Chiron and the moon. Gotta watch out for the 17th. Got it. How is astrology working? It's working all right. This week is pretty good. We've got the new moon later today. That should be pretty good for going down a rabbit hole and finding some kind of nice, welcome, big change. Later on this week, Venus is making a lot of aspects. That should be pretty helpful. You might be a little intense sometimes, but if you say what you need and you mean what you say, it should be fine. The one that I didn't talk about, or I didn't have time to make notes on, excuse me, is this. Our dear friend Chiron is coming out of Aries for the first time in however many years he's been there, and stepping into Taurus. Now, this is not permanent yet. When Chiron goes retrograde, he will retrograde back into Aries for one last little, like, just checkpoint, make sure you're not going to fall back into those habits, and then he will progress into Taurus and proceed to stay there. Now, I didn't have time this morning to get the notes up. I will put the notes up on this one in Discord, either today or tomorrow, and then we, as a YouTube or Twitch group, will talk about it more on Sunday. This is Saturday, but this one will be so long that it will be okay to talk about on Sunday. Oh, on my stream, what does it entail? This is Lynn, so I am the resident mod that you have talked to before. On Sunday mornings, or Sunday at whatever time this is for you, I go over the week's forecast in astrology over a cup of coffee. And then once we get through the week, I will either do something fun like bibliomancy, or sometimes I bring a watercolor to work on and paint. Things like that. Hi, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know what time it is for you, but hello, it's good to see you. So that's what we got. Week ahead looks pretty nice. Honestly, it looks fun. A little bit vulnerable at times, but like if you can step up and do the thing, you should be fine. So that is our week ahead. I will get more details on Chiron ready for next Sunday. Any questions, any thoughts, any concerns? It is 6 p.m. right now. Good evening. There you go. For me, it's right about noon. Yeah, you can ask something. What's up? I don't do tarot. I'll warn you that now. But you can ask something. Let's see. Where am I? What am I doing? Oh, yeah. What does the week look like for Pisces and Virgo? No tarot. So yeah, we got. Hang on, guys. Let's talk. I'm not going to talk about all of it again, but we'll talk about a little bit about this here new moon coming up. Hang on. So in a few hours, we have. Okay. If I could summarize the general energy for the week, what would that be? Pay attention to the new moon here. Real quick, Brune, don't laugh so menacingly. I am laughing in pity because I also have very strong Virgo placements. You are okay. This new moon right here. This new moon right here. This is what you have to look forward to. So this is in a few hours. We are in the last decan of Pisces. So if you have anything, Brune, particularly in the last decan of Virgo or in the last decan of Pisces, it will hit you the hardest. This is a bit of a big old overhaul where we are looking at pulling out the wounds that were not inflicted by you. How do I explain it again without going too far? So this degree in Gemini is represented by tarot as the Ten of Swords. And so the homework for this new moon, for all of us mutables in particular, for everybody too, but like mutables and Cancer, because we have both of the rulers of all four of the mutables in Cancer. We are examining those Tens of Swords that are the injuries that we have have sustained, basically, like the verbal hurts that we have dealt with. And we are discerning which ones are things that have been forced upon us and which ones that are there by our own hands. And we are letting go of the hurts and the impositions that other people have made. So what that means is we are looking through all of these hurts. If we still are like upset by something that someone called us 15 years ago, and we are letting that go. And what we are doing with this new moon instead is putting something better there in its place. And that's kind of the overall vibe for this whole week. Again, especially for, the Gemini, the Virgo, the Sagittarius, and the Pisces portions of everybody's charts. We are looking at these hurts and we are saying, this isn't from me. I don't want this anymore. I am setting it down. And I am going to grow something better. So the manifestation here is just kind of like following these unfinished paths that you've thought of yourself, right? And seeing where that takes you. Venus is making a lot of really pretty aspects throughout the week, so you're kind of going to be feeling fun and a little bit flirty and having a good time. And this is just kind of impacting everybody. But again, this is in Leo, and then the other ones that she's touching are going to be like Aries and such. Not quite so much the mutables, but everybody will be feeling it, and that'll just be kind of like good, fun energy to try something new or speak up to something that you have been trying to... If you struggle with vulnerability, you've been trying to hide it. There's a formation coming up on the 17th that is very good for, realizing where you are vulnerable and saying something and having it be received. So if it is from you, the sword impact, if it is from you, it doesn't have to necessarily be a hurt. It can just be like a goal of your own and stuff, and that's fine. It is the Ten of Swords. That is heavy. You are hurting. But remember, on the deck, like the guy that I pointed out, what you are doing is looking to the horizon and knowing that it's about to get better, right? So, I am a mage. I hope so. I don't know. I struggle with being... Yeah. Vulnerability sucks, Duck. I hate being vulnerable. But it's a really good setup if there's something that you've been needing to say. Right, if there's something that you've been needing to say, if there's something that you've been needing to do, it'll be really good to do it, right? Like, just think about how you want to say things, Duck. And then it'll be, you should be able to be heard. Manifested something on the 17th of this month, and it's exactly what you said. Oh, that's really cool, Brune. Well, good luck. Let us know how it goes. I'm excited to hear how everything shapes up. So, with that said, happy to keep talking about things. Today's cue is random. There is no cue today. Haha! Gotti! I don't know how to take that down. I'm not the OBS guy. Oh, you've got the today's cue is random sign up. It's not that big a deal. Is it the question thing here?
Okay. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. For the better as it should. Very good. Very good. Alright. Hi, guys. So. Let me put my laptop away. I gotta shuffle a little bit. Hang on. It could be drawing time, or folks like to play with me in bibliomancy, so it's up to y'all. Is there any Huh? 4K no los dos, because it's hard to juggle a book and art at the same time. Is there any plan to celebrate when you hit 400 subscribers? Pretty nails are back. Thank you. Yeah, these are... What is that? Ooh-wee. Okay, hang on. Pretty nails are back. Yes, Willie. I had my nails done before we went on our trip. I like them very, very much. They are too long, but I enjoy them. Biblio. Very good. Vulnerability is for the weak. Absolutely. I'm not even being sarcastic. I understand that it's not for the weak, but it sucks. Alright, what is that bibliomancy? It is where I pick a book, and you ask me a question, and I read you either a word or a passage, and you apply that information to your question as is relevant. In the past, I generally have pretty solid reception, so it's fun to do. What else? Oh, and then as far as art goes, I have been working on this still. We're still working on it, but you can tell progress has been made. So, yeah, here we are. Perfect, I'm down for that. Great. So, we have... Alrighty, folks, let me change the topic of this stream. Thank you very much, Brune. Give me 1 second to shuffle things around. We're done talking about astrology. We'll go to divination and I'll update it. Very good. Back to chat. I can't do that much. So, if anyone wants to see more of my art, let me punch down my Instagram really quickly. And then we can continue. So, that is me. Feel free to follow. I do art as commissions. I do not have a VGen yet. We are waiting until Miss May is validated on VGen for me to get a code. So, bibliomancy is where you ask me a question and you pick a book. Hey Ozzy, you want to see? Well, there you go. There's the Instagram account. So just go ahead and give me a follow if you have an Instagram account. Otherwise, you could see it on Discord because folks have picked bibliomancy. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. You have a question. Hit me, Brune. And then pick a book. We have The Forgetting Room, Alexandria, Pharaoh's Gate, Morningstar, or The Griffin. Y'all can just start asking me questions. We don't have the queue like we do in tarot because this is not the most popular stream, which is kind of how I prefer it. I just have my friends and I get to hang out with them for a few hours. If you want tarot, in the Ko-fi link there is commissions for private bookings. Otherwise, we will be back on Monday, tomorrow, for tarot. What piece of the... Hang on one second, guys. Okay. Bibliomaxing. I'll let you pick the book. I have no clue. I hope everyone is having a great morning. Thank you very much, Ozzy. I am having an alright morning. It is a little sleepy still, but that is fine. I'll let you pick the book. I have no clue. What piece of the vision puzzle am I not seeing? Let's do the Morning Star, since the star in the tarot deck isn't. Alright, Morning Star. What vision, or what piece of the vision puzzle is Brune not seeing? The stronger you grow, the more I seem to want you. You say you believe I'll respond to your love, and I will. But now I understand the self-doubts that Griffin must have endured when he knew he was to meet with Sabine. He was troubled by the idea that he wouldn't be a match for her soul. You and I are so much like them. So, are you having some struggle with self-doubts? Are you having some struggle with vulnerability? Because that is what that is reading to me. Is that a giraffe? I really like this book. I really like this series. We've talked about it a bit before. Very good. Did that help? Yeah, so this book is just this series. Anything that Nick Bantock... Okay, very good. Anything that Nick Bantock touches, I tend to love. This is my favorite series ever. This is the Griffin and Sabine series. And his art is beautiful, and the books are just cryptic enough that it seems to really help people. Alright, Duck, what do you want out of the Pharaoh book? Do I write, or do I try to get back into an old game? Let's look at Alexandria, because it was no longer struggling with self-doubt, but it was the cause for my situation. Yeah. Very good. Well, I'm glad that helped. I'm happy to, since again, this is a smaller chat, or a smaller group. Don't worry about it. I will answer questions as I get. Do I write, or do I try to get back into an old game? Alright, Doji. Esoteric fog aside, there's something tangible that confirms the truth of what Sabine appears to be saying. I have suddenly developed the capacity to draw and paint. Go right. I want to ask for insight around the change I need to make with friends. Sure thing, my dear. Do you have a book preference, or is it dealer's choice? If not, I don't think I have going right. Yeah. Not, I haven't touched the Griffin yet, and I will do the Griffin. Dealer's choice. How do I stop procrastination? Ask my Egyptian deity. Very good. I will get to you as soon as I take care of blood type. Duck. We will go to the Griffin. I'm sorry if I bonked the mic. It is a lot to juggle. 5 books. Dealer's choice for blood type. How to change... I can read. Insight around change that they need to make with friends. I can see why you would imagine that the correspondence between Griffin and myself was an invention. If It would be a lot easier to accept if that were the case. However, it's as real as we are. Everything occurred as it was written. You don't believe me, do you? Probably you are uncomfortable with truths expressed in this form, and although you might be intrigued, you are disturbed by the implication. But consider this, nothing is what it seems. You've attempted to find Paolo, and because you cannot locate it, you query its existence, excuse me. Certainly it doesn't appear in any atlas or encyclopedia, and yet you write me, and here I respond. Obviously, I am reliably where I am supposed to be. So I can promise you that the correspondence is genuine. So it sounds like, speak up. Yes, Brune, we can do that in just a moment. Let me see how to stop Egyptian deity procrastination with duck. Got a whole ding dang letter, duck. Let's see. Okay, so we start off, Duck. I have been meaning to write for ages, and forgive me for not having done so sooner. I confess I feel especially contrite given now that I have something to ask of you. You have been procrastinating, haven't you, Duck? The ask in this letter is, however, I would be very grateful if you keep in confidence all that I have shared with you. I think it better to let Griffin decide whether he wishes to relate his story to you. If for any reason this is too much to ask, please don't feel remotely obligated. So, Duck, to me, this sounds like work on it anyway. To stop procrastination, just take little steps and don't talk about it. If it is something that you don't have to talk about, don't do it until you're at a point where you have made visible progress. There is a thing, scientifically, where if you have a goal and you tell too many people about that goal, it feels to your brain like you have been working on it, and so you don't work on it. So what this is telling you to do, I think, Duck, is work on it and don't talk about it. So that way, you're making actual progress instead of just feeling like you have made progress. Alright. Can you show me the way? Literally the sentence that my eyes landed on, Brune, is, I'm not sure. For further clarification, Brune, it says, the first thing that struck me was the title, The Forgetting Room. This was the name that Raphael used to call his studio in Switzerland. On more than one occasion, he'd said, remember, Armand, here in the Forgetting Room, the past is present. Look to the past for your answers. The not being believed part hits hard. Yeah, it's very hard. With a lot of these deep conversations. But the 17th sounds like a really good time for you to leverage the energy to say what you need to say. Makes sense. Thank you. You're welcome, Duck. Any other questions? Don't forget to like, subscribe, tip your serve if you can. There's a Ko-fi link in the pinned comment, I believe. What else is there? I don't do cues. We don't have that. If you are interested, I do a few birth chart readings. I have space for a couple a month. That is in the commission thing, and Miss May does private readings for tarot, also available in the commission link. She says in the background, if you didn't hear it, it's true. So, hang out with us, give us a like, put us to work. If If you go to Lady Lapine Art on YouTube, that is her art channel. She has a VGen link. She's available for commissions, etc., etc. What if on the 17th I cannot say what I have to say because of the promise I should have made? What should I do then? Go back to Morningstar. Book Pharaohs. Okay, sorry. Let me do that. Pharaoh. Morningstar better? Alright. Let me see if I can get back to where I was then. Here we go. Y'all start thinking of questions for me. What if on the 17th? It's okay. You're okay, Brune. Don't worry about it. Let's see. 17th you cannot say. Sorry for the quiet. I'm trying to find it. Okay. Here it is. Alright, Brune. Do not underestimate your own courage. You are part of an elite, not of power, position, and wealth, but an elite of the sensitive, the considerate, and the tenacious. Its members are to be discovered in all castes and throughout all ages, and among them there is a shared understanding. They represent a tradition against struggle, against cruelty, and unrelenting chaos. Thousands of them perish in obscurity, and few gain notoriety. They are sensitive for others as well as themselves. Their consideration is without frills. Their tenacity is not braggartly, but has the power to fully endure. And above all, they can accept the irony of their own fate. You're okay. Ask away. Don't doubt yourself, though, is what this just told you, Brune. Don't doubt yourself. You'll be fine. Let's see. A word from the Morningstar book for this week coming up for blood type. Alright, we're at very end. Alright. Alright, blood type. A balance has been struck. The lioness and the mercurial scribe have mated, and their passion has set in motion a boundless tumbling tide of awakening. Too late, the villain has realized his fatal error. Now he floats in free fall, and his designs for our endless sleep have been sucked into the firmament. That earthly membrane between your world and ours is slowly dissolving, and in stillness the golden gate yawns open. Yeah, that's what it said, Brune. Be brave, keep your promise. And blood type, it sounds like you're gonna break through a wall, basically. What am I overlooking that deserves more attention? It's Brune, if you want. It said, if you ever watched Winnie the Pooh, one of my favorite little phrases is that one that he does. I can't remember it exactly. Let me see if I can pull it up on the phone. Hang on, guys. I'll get to you in just a second, son. Alright, here you go. Here you go, Brune. This is what that passage was saying to me, based off of the Winnie the Pooh thing that I said. It is, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and loved more than you will ever know. So, I think the passage was saying, don't underestimate yourself, you can do this. What am I overlooking that deserves more attention? Let's go to the Forgotten Room for that, since that literally is forgetting. What am I overlooking that deserves more attention? Alright, son, what the box actually... Okay, I'll just give you the whole thing. Pasted into the inside of the lid of the box was the torn page from an old book. I expected the box to contain a letter, maybe some family photos, certainly some form of direct communication, including his last thoughts, advice on life, a reprimand, a declaration of independence. I didn't really know what. But Raphael was not a regular model grandfather. and if I'd expected him to turn into one in his latter years, I was much mistaken. Alright, son, what the box actually contained was a small matted oil painting entitled Arc of Moons, signed by Raphael and dated 1937. There was also a Kafkaesque handmade folded booklet. Okay. So, here we have some art, and then we have instructions for the forgetting room. Point 1 is look into the palescope and you will see the verification form. The button that illuminates the questionnaire also activates the voice control. Type in your name. Nothing will happen unless you type in a name. Incorrect statements will be erased. Please tell the truth. Try again. If the name you are using has been reassigned, then reclassification can only take place when due process has been completed. Please type in the standard code. Once entered, proceed with the questionnaire until liberation is achieved. Use the new moon to figure out what is deserving of more attention. Keep asking why. It should show itself. What should I be thinking about this week from Lady Lapine? I loved the idea of all those internal worlds, separate and highly personal. Then one day the possibility dawned on me that our dreams were not separate but joined. That maybe we do not have dreams, dreams have us. It frightened me, but a truth rarely remains a threat for a long time, and eventually the idea seemed to become almost reassuring. The cat knows where it is going. It carries you, and you carry us. New moon, why? Yes, exactly, son, you got it. Next question for the Pharaoh's book. I want to make a decision, but I don't know if it's my intuition or my fear that is pushing me to decide. How do I know which is which? I can answer you this one point blank, Rune, without even asking the book. Fear asks a question. Fear asks what if. Intuition is a statement. Now, if you struggle with anxiety all of the time like I do, sometimes the line gets a little blurry. But if you're usually a pretty straightforward, confident person, that's a pretty solid metric. And even with all of my problems, it does help. So, the fear, if it is fear pushing you to decide, it's asking, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? And if it's intuition, it says, no, this will happen. But I will still go through the book. And let's see what it says. Bruin wants to make a decision, but they don't know if it's their intuition or fear pushing them to decide. How can they tell? It says, walking on the deck in the morning sunlight, I've been preoccupied by the thought of a spiral, traveling slowly from in to out. With my index finger, I trace the line back, trying to see where to begin. Find the origin of the concern, intuition or fear, whichever one it is. And then if you keep pulling that thread, it should show itself as to being whether or not it's intuition or if it's fear. Maybe a pear and almond cake would help. A pear and almond cake would probably help with most things. What should I be thinking about this week? I did that. Pharaoh's book, make a decision. What is my next adventure for Pearl? Let's use Alexandria for this one since this is a far, far away place. Alright, Pearl wants to know, what is their next adventure? No, this is Morningstar. I have to grab Alexandria. What's this? Next adventure for Pearl. I don't know where you are specifically, Pearl, but Montreal and Paris are getting dropped. When I was living in Montreal trying to raise the money to come to Paris to study, I met a man who told me he loved me. I didn't believe him, but I was lonely and I found him attractive. Soon after, he began to treat me like I belonged to him. I objective, however, he was very skilled at assessing my weakness, and he was an expert at manipulating me through my self-doubts. Don't do that. But yes, you got a whole letter. It's talking about saving up for studying. Pearl could be taking a trip soon. Pearl could be, your next adventure could be one related to education. Because she was talking about living in Montreal, saving up her money to go study in Paris. Something like that. It is intuition. Nice. Perfect. Question for the Griffin. I have to be feeling drawn. What is their wisdom? What is the Griffin's wisdom? What is the Griffin's wisdom? Or duck? What is the wisdom? The wisdom. Okay, it's one sentence, Duck. Are you ready? Don't fret about the coming year. You got this. Another question. Random book. What is waiting for me in June? In June. Okay, this is... Okay, so this is this is the whole thing. I think I realize how it fits. Alright, Duck. Not Duck, sorry. Brune, I am safely on Papua New Guinea, and I'm relieved it's not what I imagined, my father having filled my mind as a child with tales of cannibals and shrunken heads. At least on the surface, the country seems to have burrowed its way out of its darker history. The people are relatively friendly, only the insects seem interested in devouring a human flesh, and in that respect, it is not unlike being back on Pip. So, my mother's plan for getting me away from Frolati, the villain's attention seems to have worked. So, Brune, when you do the thing that you promised to do on the 17th, it might not go exactly as you have planned, or rephrase, and I'm relieved it is not what I imagined. So, if there is something that you were spiraling about, it will probably go better than what you expected. I mean, Sen, I can try to do some amateur bibliomancy for myself as well, but I can't promise I'll understand. Yeah, so she was saving up for something, so it sounded to me like you could either go traveling, you could go studying, or you could be saving up for some kind of adventure right now. Bibliomancy for... Oh boy. You know what? Griffins are cool. I was obsessed with them when I was little. Can I ask Morningstar for another question? You may, Brune, after Sen gets me my own amateur bibliomancy. Ugh. Let's see what I got. I think we've already done this one, but let's see. Let's see. Send the bibliomancy for myself literally said, I don't know how to throw myself open. Ah, you can do it for me, thus making it amateur. Sure, yeah, you can do something. Because, yeah, it literally just told me it wasn't going to answer me. For myself. But yes, feel free to do something. Ask Morningstar another question. Sure thing, Brune. Do you have any advice for me? Morningstar, advice for Brune. I'm not picking. The advice, Rune. I don't know if this charade has achieved anything, but if nothing else, the illusion of action leaves me feeling less like a goldfish swimming in glass circles. So, make baby steps, and it should at least feel better than doubting yourself. I saw a picture of a big cat. Yeah, it was a big cat. Let me see if I can go back to it. No promises. Let's see what I can do. Yep. You got yourself a little jaguar buddy of some kind. The native of Persia. Do I have a question though? I have two, son. When is the wall going to break? And should I change my approach to it? Baby steps are still steps. Exactly. So, while Sen is pulling my amateur advice, I will remind you we have tarot Monday, Wednesday, Friday on this channel. We have availability for paid commission tarot readings, private. You can either have them uploaded to YouTube for just you to access, or you can do it live together with Miss May. I do astrology streams on Sunday over a cup of coffee. Cheers. And we do bibliomancy, has been the later thing. How many questions are left? It's just a free-for-all right now, like I was talking about earlier. This is our quiet stream, so... I mean... I really don't care. If and when we get super busy with this, if this really takes off for some reason, we can talk about it then. But for now, ask away. I'll answer it if I can. Anyway, tarot Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have switched to the random model for free questions. If you need to be absolutely sure your question will be answered on tarot streams now, it is a $1 payment in Ko-fi. If you are having fun and are able right now, remember to tip your server a little bit. Again, private readings are available from May, and I can do star chart readings. But yeah, I'm here for another 25 minutes, Brune, so if you've got more and no one's asking anymore, then I don't care. Ask away. I'm just having fun. But yes, I will. What should I do? Am I fooling myself or am I being honest? Okay. Random books at your pick. What should you do? Francesca and Paolo were very easy to be with, and the tales and anecdotes that poured from them enabled me to overcome my natural reserve. Neither were artists, but they loved art. I mentioned that I couldn't find any art of my grandfather's pictures in my house, or I couldn't find any of my grandfather's pictures in my house. They looked at each other, and then Paolo said, I thought you knew. Raphael gave all of his artwork away. He sent one to each of his friends and to everyone who'd ever done him a kindness. He spread them around. He even gave a picture to the store owner whose small dog he regularly stopped to pat. So, appreciate the people in your life. Go talk to people that you know and trust. This is giving that thing on the 17th of say what you need to say, give a compliment, and it will land very well. Be good to other people, and they will be good to you, is what I am reading. How is my work going to look? Let's see. And the prince said, "If it be true, speak now, for in a few moments the sun's rays will pierce the sky and our child will perish." Linda Raxa called her serving maids, who brought forth 3 pails of water. The prince looked at her and said, "What use is this, woman? How can these buckets do more than my ancient arts?" But he followed her gaze, he saw 3 moons. But when he followed her gaze, he saw 3 moons reflected, one in each of the 3 pails of water. In an instant, the prince understood Linda Rux's wisdom, and using simple magic, he scooped the 3 moons out of the water and cast them into the mouth of the gorge, where they floated down and formed a bridge. The djinn was furious, but as he had been defeated in a fair battle of wits, he could do nothing but send the girl safely back to her parents. So, what is your work going to look like? Something clever. You'll have to do something clever, something that will require you to think outside of the box. Is Bruin fooling themselves, or are they being honest? When I got off the bus, I discovered the terminal wasn't on my antiquated map, and I couldn't work out where I was. I had a moment's panic, but it passed, and after randomly threading my way through the narrow streets, I bumbled into the elegant confines of the Plaza del Socorro. So, you are panicking. Not necessarily that you're fooling yourself, but you might be feeling a little lost, right? And if you just take things one at a time, it should help you clear that thought out and sort yourself out and be fine. What else? What do we got? We got 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Like, subscribe if you need to. I do astrology on Sundays, and more recently, bibliomancy. Pick a book, ask me anything. Where's the second camera nowadays, Brad? Or May? Oh, okay. Will someone go to Paris with me? What's next in your painting? Will someone go to Paris with Pearl? Let's talk about going to Paris. Let's talk about going to Paris. That's alright. I got the question mark, Pearl. Don't even worry about it. He thought the sculpture would point directly to that place of concealed knowledge, but he can find no clue within the figures to guide him. He suspects that through me you might be able to decipher that which is beyond him. You might not have someone going with you, necessarily, Pearl, is what that sounds like to me, but even if you go by yourself, you would find a friend who would be more than happy to show you around and help guide you around. What's next in my painting? What if Paris is a state of mind? Okay, Pearl. Honestly, okay. So, are you ready for some dad YouTube? Because this is one of my passions. I love this stuff. There are people who do, like, GoPro walking tours on YouTube of really famous cities. So if you don't want to, like, save up to actually travel, just look up, like, a GoPro Paris walking tour or something. Something that's a few hours long, and just go to Paris on the TV. Because I do that all the time. Like, I've never gotten to go to Italy, but I really, really want to go to Italy. And there's one guy in particular that I like because he puts, like, history facts on as the subtitles instead of, you know, actual subtitles because no one's actually talking. And he did a tour of Herculaneum and Pompeii while they were both deserted, and it is gorgeous. And then he does a lot of other ones too that I really, really like. What's next in my painting? So anyway, Pearl, if you're strapped for cash, just try to go to Paris that way. Maybe that'll, you know, jumpstart something. Maybe you'll see some. Oh, you know what? If you can't afford to go to Paris, go buy yourself a croissant somewhere and then go on one of those walking tours on YouTube. Get yourself a coffee, go buy a croissant, like a nice one, and go sit and watch a walking tour of Paris. Or if you really want to live there, just like walk in place. It doesn't matter. We'll get you to Paris, even if it's on a budget. It's fine. Alright. What's next in my painting? My painting or yours? My painting. Okay. So good. A lot of walking in Europe. Yep. Yep. I honestly, Pearl, if you don't do that idea, I might. I like it so much. Just finding one of those walking tours on YouTube and a croissant and just going to Paris. In my mind. That stellium has me sweating. Yeah, I have notes about my birth chart blood type. I have feelings. I have very strong feelings. Next in my painting. Up from a granada she shimmers, a shade hovering above the river's stairway. Her four wings glint and murmur, a musical imp of Nasrid's palace darts through 7 centuries of turquoise and lilac. Cross-gaze tile and Moorish marble, slipping past geometric grill and shutter, Linda Roxa glimpses herself refracted and 1,000 times within the fountain spark. She veers south, leaving behind echoes of a throaty hum. Soon she'll begin her long journey to the coast of North Africa. I don't know what that means for my art, but y'all can translate. Do I thrive in my belief and manifestation? Who was that? And that was Brune, but like, what was the? Uh-oh. Gets a boba tea and watches a Taiwan walking tour. Absolutely. Brune, which book did you want for your question about manifestation? I can't see it anymore. Which book did you want, baby? I'm sorry, I forgot. Griffin. Okay, thank you. Belief and manifestation. And so. Blank page. Let's try the next page. I don't think the book knows.
Wow.
You have me at a disadvantage, I'm afraid. I presume that we've been introduced and my sieve-like memory has let me down again. So it doesn't know. I'm sorry, Brune. That's my day now. Croissants, here I come. Very good. I do like watching traveling food stuff, so this is very in line. Perfect. I'm glad we figured something out. You broke the book. It's okay. I think that's a... If it was a blank page with the Sphinx and nothing else, I think that's a... It's on you. I think it's on you, Boo Bear. It's not... Do you believe in it? Right? I think that's what it's asking. Like, I don't know. Do you? Right? One last question. Hit me. And that's just for the Twitch side of, can you take an answer from all 5 books? Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. I can try. You do need to change your approach or wait for the future, Lynn. Okay. The text is long. You can just send it to me on Discord or something if you want to type it out. That's up to you. Or just take a picture of it and highlight which part. Just send it to me on Discord. Who are you? Well, you're Brunebot, of course. Alright, Brune. I woke to a tugging on my hair. The culprit was a tiny monkey who was trying to get into the bag I'd used for my pillow. When I told him to desist, he grew quite agitated and started thrashing his tail and spitting at me. I took out my pocket mirror and showed him how silly he was being. He glared at his reflection, let out a piercing screech, and scampered off down the shore.
What?
Monkey. Angry monkey. Yes, I assume you are the monkey. My cheek was pressed to the ground, but in my peripheral I could see two pinhole eyes fixing on mine in an iron stare. The figure's dry, narrow lips didn't move, but its voice demanded to be told where the lion was hidden. I didn't know what it meant, so I didn't answer. It asked again, and then again more instantly. I tried to say that I didn't understand the question, but it kept repeating the words, each time driving them deeper into my mind. So, you're the monkey. You keep asking questions. Very persistently. You could be someone named Paolo. But if not, let's see, there's a parrot up here. I saw a monkey broken record. I mean, what is a parrot if not the monkey of the bird world? A traveler approached from the east, carrying with her only a stick. She recognized the stone to be extremely precious, and it was too hot to handle. She attempted to pick it up with the stick. Of course, she failed. She stepped back to consider. At that point, a traveler from the west, carrying with him only a stick. A traveler arrived from the west, carrying with him only a stick. He recognized the stone to be extremely precious, and as it was too hot to handle, he attempted to pick it up with the stick. Of course, he failed. He stepped back to consider. The travelers' eyes met. They began speaking, but neither could comprehend each other's tongue. Eventually, the first traveler used their stick to draw in the sand. The traveler reciprocated, and before long they came to an agreement. Each placed a stick on either side of the stone and lifted. Their joint effort was successful. The stone rose, and the burning sands cooled, while the freezing air warmed. So, you are working on compromising, or like, coming up with a plan with yourself. That seems like you and your, inner self coming to a term. Which one am I? I feel like you're both. I feel like that's just the two sides of you talking and trying to come up with a plan with yourself. Sen asks, what's the monkey of the water? Dolphin, orca, octopus? I want to say dolphin, but I don't like dolphins. And then Brune. My parents didn't leave behind any pictures of my early childhood. It's quite eerie seeing myself in such embryonic form. So the griffin, I guess, thinks you're small. Like a child. I don't know. And then last, but not least, we have... Okay, it's tired now. It says, that's enough messing about, young man. Either loosen it up or tighten it down, but don't fart around. His voice was so clear he could have been in the room. So, you're a monkey, and you're trying to figure out something. Alright, gang. We got 9 minutes. Monkey broken record, 2 people, a child, and had enough. Yeah. The 5th book was just like, I'm done answering this question now. A monkey, a broken record, another monkey again, yeah. And then your inner and outer self, a child, and this is enough. The books are tired. But we do have 9 more minutes. So, other folks, the YouTube side, or anybody in the Twitch side that has not asked anything, please do feel free. Just like the second book said, I'm a broken record. You'll be alright. Don't worry about it too much. Any other questions? We can talk about going to Paris on a budget. I went to Venice on a budget that way. Made myself a nice coffee and watched Venice and, on that walking tour. Any questions about Vedic astrology? All of those have similar energy and don't know exactly what it is. It felt very curious. Very, very... very wanting to know something, very wanting to figure something out, just kind of across the board. Morning Star, what is happening with the world? Ooh-wee, that's deep. Do the books ever just want to say anything to you? I have to tread lightly, Pearl, because I would just end up sitting down and starting to read them again. That said, it only happened the once. It only happened the once, but yes, it did. It was when I was trying to help May figure something out a few weeks ago, when I figured out that I could do this with these books anyway. It was something that she had been trying to figure out for, like, a literal decade, and I just looked up at the books and I went, oh, I could find the answer there. Monkey Parrot Child, this is the YYY energy, absolutely. Oh, we got another monkey for you, Brune. What is happening with the world? Move fluidly by earth or water and stop to listen to the wind as it whispers your whereabouts. When I ran from Sabine and journeyed to the islands, the more I hurried across the sky, the more dislocated I became. By insulating myself from the elements, I failed to my innate need to know exactly where I was. I would arrive, step into the landscape, and feel my body slip into confusion. A gentler pace will give you time to evolve. By keeping low to the ground, you will also make yourself less conspicuous to the enemy's dark angel. Savor the path and enjoy the sun. So this is just more of the new moon. Ignore, what's happening with the world, it doesn't matter. That's out of your sphere of influence. What you need to focus on is what is within your sphere of influence. Stop, breathe, realize what is you and what is outside influence, and focus on the you part if it is not productive energy that is coming from the outside, right? Is there something you have to be careful with when you do bibliomancy? Pearl, If you ask me, I say no. I, per May, am very, very good about blocking out bad vibes, basically. Because I simply will not tolerate them. Right? So apparently, I can walk into a room that is just rancid and clear it out. Because I simply will not tolerate it. So, bearing that in mind, I would say no. As far as to be careful with. Whatever. Is there something I have to be careful with? Use your discernment. That would be what I say you should watch out for. Use your discernment. Right? And if something feels wrong, then it is wrong. Right? And not in just oh, I don't want this to happen, but like your gut instinct, right? Between, remember what I was saying earlier about, you know, your fear versus your intuition. Right? You need to, like, if you do your bibliomancy and you look at it and you go, is this wrong? That's anxiety, that's fear, right? But if you look at it and you go, no, this is wrong, that's your intuition talking. That's when you need to try again. Right? And yes, Sin just said, as usual, know that your interpretation of any text is just one of the many, and we can always be mistaken. That's true, too. But yeah, so as far as that goes, just use your discernment, listen to your instincts, ignore your fear. Right? Does bibliomancy work with any written text? I would say yes, Bryn. This is the first book that's really, really worked with me. But I know a lot of people will just use the Bible, for instance, because one, is very readily available, and two, there's a lot of like different stories in there. Like it covers a whole slew of things, right? So you're not you're not just limited to something. I would say yeah, that's a good one. May suggested in the background, if you're just doing something for yourself, look at your whole bookshelf, see what calls to you, and just grab it. It can be whatever you want. Even manga, the only books that I have are manga. Why the hell not? Just go for it. Honestly, just try it and see how it feels. Right, Bryn? Like, just look at a picture. Or just look at a manga, grab it, open it up. Does it vibe? Cool. If it doesn't, then it won't work. I think each book gets infused with the energy of its creator, so choose your books with intention. Yeah, I mean, like, you can feel when something's going to apply to you or not, right? One Piece is my Bible, basically. Alright, yeah, there's so many novels to One Piece. Give it a shot. See how it goes. Let me know. That would be really interesting. But yeah, if there's, like, particularly, like, a book or something like that that is, like, that really speaks to you, right? I would say that might be your pick, right? Like, don't just go pick up some random pulp romance novel or something, maybe, but, like, if there's something that's your favorite, or if there's something that really made you stop and think, or if there's something that just really speaks to you, go for it.
I'd almost each question at a time. What book?
Yeah, you can do that way.
No conscious thought.
No head empty, no conscious thought. If you're worried about it, about like using your eyes as a way to mix up your input, just close your eyes and grab the book randomly and see which one feels the best with your eyes closed, right? There's lots of ways to do it. Alright, Sin, my dear. It's our time. You want dice? We can do the week ahead. Good week. Full house. Very easy. You might have like one little bitty tiny hiccup, but we're good. Our little dice game that we play sometimes. It's a bit of a divination of itself, but the bibliomancy is a little easier to pick apart. I haven't learned how to read the dice just yet. I found a thing to do it, but it was a lot of reading to do and I didn't have the time, so I just kind of play by Yahtzee rules. Do an elephant spin and pick. Yeah. Full house hype. Yep. No, this is just the week ahead kind of thing, Bryn. Sen likes it when I do the dice. So. We're all good. Alright, my dears. We are at time. So, you know where to find us. We are on Discord. If you need us, we will be there. Or we will be back on Monday. We'll be back tomorrow. First will be an art stream on Lady Lapine Art. Feel free to come hang out, so we will have a great week. That is the hope, Brune. Just be brave and be willing to be vulnerable. We'll be back on Monday first on the art channel, Lady Lapine Art, and then in the evening on Lady Lapine regular. For Twitch, it's all the same channel, so come hang out. We'll see you then, and holler if you need us. Bye, gang.